Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel. So right now I'm in a BYD roadshow. Today I'm going to bring you a tour about this newly launched BYD M6. So this is one of the first EV MPV that is introduced in Malaysia market, which is introduced by BYD. So the model right here they introduced is the BYD M6. So a little bit overview. This is actually a second generation BYD MPV. The previous gen is called the BYD E6. So this is the, I would say, heavily revised BYD E6, because if you look at the previous gen E6, you can still see some shadow of it, especially from the proportion of this car. So it's a position as a C segment MPV, which means that it competes against something like a Toyota Wish, Honda Stream, or the Proton Exora. Okay, but this is in an EV form. So the specification I won't talk much, because basically you can see on the internet about the information. So I'll briefly go through the exterior and interior with you. And because I'm a Proton Exora owner, so I can talk to you about the space that is accommodated inside this BYD M6. So let's look at the front engine bay. So this being an EV, so it do not have the internal combustion engine. So this is the electric drivetrain of this BYD M6. There's still a lot of space going on, and down there is fully covered to protect it from dust or water. So as you can see, powertrain domain controller. So because this car is not priced at a very expensive pricing, so as you can see, the engine bay of this car is rather messy, and they do not have any plastic cover to cover it. But I understand, because this MPV is not made for expensive, it's affordable. And this bonnet right here has two gas lift to support the bonnet. So for the exterior styling, you get the LED daytime running light as well as LED headlights. So the design sort of reminds me of the BYD Atto 3, especially this silver part right here. There's a BYD badge. So down there, there's some chrome bits, and here houses the ADAS. So the M6 actually comes with two specs, the standard range as well as the extended range. Okay. So right here, there's a vent right here to channel the air for aerodynamic purposes. So the tire right here is a GT Comfort Contact. So the measurement are 225, 55, 17 inch. So the tire look a bit too small in my opinion. Maybe it's because the sizing of this car makes the wheel look small. So there's a front and rear disc brakes. Suspension are MacPherson strut at the front, the multi-link for the rear. So this is a very typical C segment MPV kind of setup. Okay. So I'm going to show you the side profile of the M6. So this is a very typical Asian style MPV design, I would say, because you've seen this type of design in the Proton Exora, the Alza, the Expander, okay, the Toyota Wish. So it's a proper MPV, and the right hand also is already tells you that this is a MPV. So up here you have a roof rack which is functional. There's a space garnishing right here, indicates this is a 7-seater. A chrome lining from the front to the rear. Okay, and there's some design elements right here to give it a bit of flares. So this the rear look of the BYD M6 is fairly simple, I would say. Typical MPV kind of design. It's finished in LED. Okay, so here you have a sequential signal indicators. A BYD badge. It's not the build your dream, the Karangan already. It's just a BYD 3 badge, M6 and the EV. Okay, down here you have some chrome garnishing, a rear wiper and a rear spoiler right here. So you have a 360 camera on the sides, and here you have a front quarter windows to clear the blind spots. So overall, I would say the design of this M6 is rather conservative because the target market of this is MPV, those family who buy it for daily usage or fetch the kids to school. So you do not need too flashy kind of design. As long as it's practical, then it's totally fine. To show you the interior of the BYD M6. So no matter which spec you get, right, you'll get this kind of brown leather seats, which feels very nice to the touch. And both front seats gets the electronic adjustment, but it doesn't have the lumbar support, so it's just a usual position, height and seat back position. So let's try to get inside the car and explore it. So door closing sound is super solid, okay, expected from BYD, although the price is not as expensive. So here's the interior look of the BYD M6. So I would say it's very conservative in its design. I would say it's more on practical side instead of stylistic. Everything here works just fine. So as an owner of a Proton Exora, I would say that this is a proper upgrade if you are considering an MPV and an EV. So let's look at the dashboard material. This part right here is hard plastic. Okay, this part also is hard plastic. The only thing is soft touch plastic is on the doors right here. These are soft touch plastic. Right here you have the leather padding, which is quite plush, and all four windows gets automatic down and up, which is very good. Central locking and your side mirror adjustment. So you also have ambient lighting for all four doors, okay, which is very good. Okay, for the meters, many will say that the analog meter is too old school, but I would say it serves its purpose. This is to show how many energy you use. This is the multi-information display, which you can cycle by using these buttons on the right spoke of the steering wheel. Okay, you have a tire pressure monitoring, your ADAS system. Okay, fairly simple. Here is the temperature, your gear position, your charge, your odometer, as well as your range. Okay, top speed is 240. I would say for EV you don't need to go so fast because it will drain the battery quite fast. Steering wheel, you can adjust tilt and telescopic, wrapped in leather, very good. And you have some gloss black and some silver trims to garnish it. So like every BYD, you have the rotate screen function. This supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Okay, so the entire piece of dashboard is made out of this kind of plastic wood padding. Okay, down here you have the aircon controls, aircon vents I would say, because aircon controls you need to use the screen right here to operate it. Okay, which to some people is not very convenient, but at least it has a fixed button down here so you can quickly access to the climate control system. And you have a seat ventilation for the front two seats, which is good. You have scheduled charging. For home, you can go to settings. Okay, this is for your ADAS, energy, vehicle, as well as your hotspot. Alright, if you go into energy, you can change the regenerating to standard or high, which means when you put into high, after you release your accelerator pedal, you go into aggressive charging mode to keep the battery on charge. Range mode, you have standard and dynamic. Vehicle setting, brake assist mode, you have comfort and sport, comfort parking, and your service reminder. Okay, I would say it's very simple and very easy to use. You have built-in Spotify navigation as well as a radio. Right here you get one wireless charging for the driver's side, and this part is rubberized, so if you put your phone, it won't goes around. Here is just a storage to put your phone. So right here you have a gear lever. Okay, so to put into D, you need to press the brake and locate a button beside here and push all the way down. Okay, just like any electronic shifter. it do not have any pedal shift or regenerative pedal. Okay, so this is the front defrost, air conditioning on and off. Driving mode, you have 3 driving modes: Eco, Normal, and Sport. When going to Sport, this screen right here will show in red. Parking sensors, this is, I presume, is the auto hold function. This to set the energy. You have standard and larger. Okay, there's some language issue right here. It should be strong instead of larger. Right here you get 2 cup holders, rubberized, and a slot to put your phone. This part is wrapped in soft touch leather. When you put your legs right here, it won't hurt your legs. Right here you have a center armrest. You get 12-volt socket, 1 Type-C, 1 SD card, and USB Type-A. Well organized, but I would say the glove box is a little bit too small. And the glove box right here goes down slowly, so you can put your stuff. So the seat bench for the front is rather full length, so it supports my thigh. Down here you do not have any extra storage space like those China car. The entire piece right here is blocked. Signal is on the right like most Japanese car. Okay, you get auto headlight function as well as wiper on the left stalk. The push button start is on the left side. Here you get a manual dimming rear view mirror, and this is your reading light and a sunroof. You can automatically close the shade, but the glass won't open. It's a fixed glass. You get a sunglass holder which is quite small. So you get sun visor with the light for both sides, which is good. So let's try out the back seat, shall we? So this is the situation where the second row seat is folded. So when the third row seat and second row seat is folded, it's flat, so you can load a lot of stuff. So now I need to get this seat goes back to its position. It's rather hard to operate, so you need a bit of force. So now just climb inside. Just close the door. The back door is also very solid. This part also wrapped in soft touch plastic, so they do not cut corners on the back seat. You still get ambient lighting. This part is soft touch leather. Okay, and some wood plastic trimming. So legroom. Legroom is about 1 fist and more. I would say is average for a C segment MPV, because a Proton Exora or Toyota Wish can maybe easily get more legroom than this. Later I'll try out the third row seat. And the second row seat, the seat bench is rather short length compared to the front seat, so your thighs is a bit hanging. Because I understand, because the chassis footprint is not very huge, and they need to put 7 seats inside. So it's rather okay, I would say. The floor is flat because the battery is mounted at the chassis, so the floor is rather raised, so the center right here, the hump is not so obvious. And you still get rear aircon vents for the second row and third row passenger. So you operate the fan speed by pressing the buttons right here. This is to turn off. Down there's one USB Type-A and Type-C. Seat pocket for both sides. Practicality is good. There's a central armrest right here and 2 cup holders. Okay. So when you sit at the middle, it's rather okay, but I recommend 2 adult and 1 kid sit at the middle. So here's the interior look of the M6. So nothing too flashy. Everything is about practicality and easy to use. You get door pockets for the rear doors as well. And for the seat position, you need to locate a lever at the front right here, so you can move forward and back. So this is one plus point compared to the Proton Exora, which has a fixed second row seats. So I'm going to demonstrate the third row seats. So you just pull this and pull it forward, so you can have a space right here for you to go in. So I'll try on the other side. So for the third row seat, you need to push this headrest, otherwise it will block your back when you sit. So for the seat bench for the third row is as normal as those 5+2 or 7-seater, this class of MPV without the sliding door. The seat bench right here is rather low, so you can feel that your leg is actually hanging. But headroom is still okay because it doesn't have those sloping roof design, and the roof lining is finished in cream, so you won't feel claustrophobic sitting at the third row seats. And you still get your dedicated aircon vents right here. Okay, so move the seat back. You just locate a lever right here. So the legroom for third row seat is rather okay, I would say. And the seat back angle, this is the most maximum position, I would say is just alright. Here you get an armrest which is wrapped in hard plastic, and the cup holders and the speakers right here. That's about it. So BYD make the M6 is meant to be a practical and rather cost efficient MPV, hence they sell you in an attractive pricing. And you get a panoramic glass roof right here for your night vision. So to go in front, just pull this, you'll fall flat, so you can go out. So to put the third row seat up, right, you need to locate a lever right here and gently pull it up. So this is a situation where the third row seat is up, the space is rather limited. So if you want to fetch luggage, right, you cannot have a third row seat up because you cannot put like very big cabin luggage. But this is the charging stuff for the car. Down here you get the tire repair kit. So yeah, this is basically my short review of this 2024 BYD M6 EV MPV. So if you have any comments, you can comment down below. Let me know what you think about this MPV. I would say it's a good move that BYD bring in the first ever EV MPV into the market, so that in the future we're more likely to see other EV MPV which is introduced in the market to gain more competition and price. So be sure to subscribe, like and share my videos. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.